Hi everyone, Jean here. Welcome back to my craft room. Well, today I thought we'd make a happy anniversary card. Now this one here I did at our craft club, and I thought it was just a nice simple little card to send to wish somebody a happy anniversary. But I'm not doing it in cream this time, I'm doing it in white pearl, and this is Crafter's Companion card. I think it's the one with the hint of gold. Beautiful card, 300 GSM. So we need a base card of 11 and 4 3/16, and then we fold it in half and crease it with our bone folder, make a nice crease. And then we want a piece of card 2 5/16 and a piece of card excuse me, 1 3/4. Just measure that because that doesn't seem quite right. 1 3/4, yeah, 1 3/4, and a piece of acetate 4 3/16 by 4 3/16, and 2 hearts which I've cut out in red and silver this time, and these I bought from the die from China. Now I know Stampin' Up! Do something similar to this, but these were a lot cheaper and are pretty good for the price that we pay for them. So I've cut 2 hearts out, one in silver, one in red. You can cut out whatever colour you want to cut out. So to start with, we've folded our card and we're going to measure up from the bottom at 2 5/16. 1 2 3 4 5, and we're just going to make a mark. I'm going to get my pencil working. Just make a mark 2 5/16 along here, and just draw a faint line. Jean's straight as a dog's hind leg, but never mind. And just draw a faint line across, and then measure down from the fold 1 3/4 inch, and just make another in fact I'm a bit out there, never mind, we're going to cut that off. 1 3/4. There we go, across here. And just make another line, straight as you can. Draw across faintly. Now what we're going to do is we're going to cut out that middle piece. And just cut it, follow your line straight across, and cut out the bottom piece. And this little piece what's left we can do for our sentiment. So that's what you're left with now. Now don't worry about your pencil marks because they won't be seen. So now what we want to do is cut another piece of card, which I've already done. We want a piece at 2 5/16 and another piece at 1 3/4. And these I've embossed. Now you use what embossing folder you like to use, but I've used the one from Sizzix, and it's the little dot one, which is quite pretty. So what we do now, when we've embossed that, we get our acetate. And this is a little bit long, so I'm going to cut some of that off. So I've put 4 3/16, but I would make it, let's have a look. That goes there. I would make it about 3" should be good. 3 by 3. Let's try that. I'll put mine down here. 3 by 3. So let's see. We'll just cut from there. We don't want it too long because I mean, it will be covered, but we don't want it too long. Right, now then. So we want a piece of tape across here, and I'm using red liner. For some reason that's strange, it's doubled up there, but still sticky, so it must be how they've wrapped it. So we place our red liner across here, and don't forget this won't be seen, it'll all be covered up, the workings. Trim it off. And then we want a piece, wait a minute, yeah, we want a piece at the bottom here, so we want a piece on this. Just across here. That's it. And cut that off. I hope this ends up right because the times I've done these measurements I ought to do it like back of my hand, but anyway, take the backing off your tape, you know, that horrible stuff what sticks to you, and then place your acetate. You can always trim off at size, but just make sure that it does come to the side. You'll probably have to trim a little bit later. So we take this part off, this red liner tape off this piece, and we measure from the bottom like this, really matching it up nicely. And as I say, I might have to do a bit of trimming off, but hey ho. And stick it on there like that. And before we start, I will do a little bit of trimming off. Not quite level this card. I'm sure sometimes it's card what comes from manufacturer. And a tiny bit of acetate to come off at this side. Shocking trying to see acetate. Right, there we go. And now what we want to do is, yeah, we want to stick our piece at the bottom, and I'm just going to use my snail for this. And stick it on level so that it covers those workings, and the same at the top. Yeah. I hope you're following okay. And just place it over the acetate there, and just make sure that there's none wants just a little trim. That's fine. And now what we want to do is to place our hearts, and we're going to place our hearts on like this, on there. It's a nice little card, this. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on the back of, oh, it's a little bit just to hold it, and this will dry clear so you won't see it at the other side. Just to hold it, pop it on like that, just hold it a couple of minutes, and it will stick to acetate. and it's going to be awkward today because it's warm. Stick that there. Then ease us through, just hold it down. That's it. Oh my goodness. Come on. It's not being naughty. Have a look. Going to be a naughty card today. Right, let's put a piece of card over there, and then my fingers are not sticking to it. Right, and we'll do the next one, the red one. Just some nice dots of glue where it's a little bit thicker. And then we're going to put this one over here like this. And again, I'm going to pop this over and hold it. Let's give it time just to set a little bit. It's better. Found that your fingers pull them up. Right, that's nice. And now we're going to do our sentiments, but I'm going to cut us a nice piece from Spellbinders, which is this one. Fancy Label Tags 1. That's a nice set of dies, that. And I could use this one, but unfortunately I smudged it a little bit. So let's have a look. We'll cut this one. I don't know if I'll get it out of this piece. No, I won't get it out of that one. I will get it out of this one. I'm just going to run this through my Big Shot, and I'll just bring it in so you can see. There we go. Right, so I place that in and place the die on top, and I always go further towards the edge here because I find that's the best pressure for the Big Shot, for mine anyway. Let's see if it's cut, and it's cut lovely. Right, we'll pop that back. There we go, and just press it out, and that's lovely. There we go, isn't that gorgeous? Lovely. Right, so now we're going to stamp our sentiment. And I'm using Memento ink in Tuxedo Black. Favourite ink, this one. And again, I've popped my little sticky label off the stamp onto the back of my block so that I can see what I'm stamping. And just tap it on. Make sure there's no black around it, and let's see if we can get this straight. Happy anniversary. Yeah, lovely. Lovely. Could have done with being a bit darker, but nevertheless. There we go. And let that dry, and I think what we'll do is we'll raise it up a tiny bit. So we'll raise it up on this foam tape. I'll just pop a piece across there and just make sure there's none comes right to the edge, because you'll see it from the other side, and we don't want that. We want it to look really nice. Here we go, and we'll pop it on here. Make sure that's straight, that's it. And then what I'm going to do now is pop a little and we'll pop him there. Just hold him down a minute. And that's our card done. I think what a pretty little card for an anniversary. Hope you've seen that okay, and I hope you've enjoyed it. And I'll see you again next time. Bye.